Does this go green when it's live, or does it just stay blue? Cool. Got it. Cool. Yay, yoga with Meredith. That's what I'm going to call today. Okay, I can't hear you, but I will be channeling you as I teach. Let's go ahead and get started with some props first. So if you have a bolster, grab that, a blanket, a couple of blocks if you have them. Really anything that you can use to help bring the ground a little bit closer to you is entirely acceptable. Folded over dog bed works if you have that handy. I'll be kind of like rotating in and calling out like the optimal prop if you have all of these in your arsenal at the same time. As you know, in yoga, like whatever works. So if you have like a block that's closer to you and it works better than a bolster just because you have to move less, make that call. We'll do a combination of yin and vinyasa. We'll be a little slow to start. We'll heat up the body with some vinyasa, and then we'll spend some like quality time, about 25 minutes in yin towards the end. What calls to me to teach this week is a focus on hip joints, strengthen quads, opening up the back of the legs, just because I feel a lot of stuck energy the last couple of weeks that just needs to get moving like in literally any direction. So we're going to be loosening up that area of the body, and that'll be the focus. So as you're thinking about making shapes and movements, just be really mindful of like extra TLC. How am I feeling in this part of my body? Does it feel good and nurturing? If not, back it off, try on something new. Let's start today lying down in belly up Shavasana, really grounded and rooted. And if you want to grab a block and take it on the low setting horizontal underneath your very low back, kind of like almost underneath your sacrum, you can. For some, walking your feet out to belly up Shavasana right away can feel comfortable. For some, it can feel a little bit intense on your hips to start. So if that's the case, know that you can bend your knees kind of towards like a horse-shaped leg, or even up toward frog if that feels better. You can also bend your knees and plant your feet on your mat too. Then for your hands, arms out to the side, palms face up. Focus on heels in, toes out. And a softening sensation in your deep, deep belly, down towards your pelvis. And take a big breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Again, in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Take 3 more big belly breaths, however you need, at whatever pace works for you. The only thing that I want you to focus on inside of those breaths is big expansion in your lower abdominals. And start to bring a little bit more rhythm and cadence into your breath. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breathing, you might start to layer in that gentle warming breath, still like a really slow cadence as you breathe, but with a little bit more intention and muscular intensity in the sides of your throat. Take 3 rounds of breath, like a whisper, like the ocean, in and out through your nose. Bend your knees and plant your feet like bridge pose just behind your hips. Gently press into the soles of your feet, lift your hips, set your block aside, bring your low back to the mat. Half happy baby, send your left leg long and then take your right knee up around your rib cage toward the right hand side of your body. You can grip the back of your hamstring, the outside of your ankle, or peace fingers between your big toes. Be mindful that it's early in class, your body is still warming up, so you might graduate your grip a little bit closer to the earth. Couple of rhythmic, slow breaths here. And see if you can let go of any tension you might be carrying in your hip or your glute. And just set your right foot down. Half happy baby on the left. Take your left knee up and around your rib cage towards your left shoulder. Go for a grip wherever it feels good. Return to your breath. If you feel your low back, especially on the right hand side or your right hip, reaching up and away from your mat, know that you can always bend your right knee and plant your right foot to help ground your right hip down. And send your left leg long. Shake out both legs here. Give them a little tap, tap, tap. And hug both knees into your chest. And you can either curl into fetal pose and press yourself up to a seat, or if you like rocking and rolling to make your transition, you can. With your hips rooted on your mat, take a big inhale, reach your hands up above your head. And exhale, hands to heart center. Touch your thumbs to your heart. And take a few rounds of breath just to settle. Before we move, find a state of complete stillness. And clear out your space. Notice if there is any energy or if there are any thoughts that are still trailing along with you into your practice. And give yourself the permission to exhale those out of your space. True blank slate for you to just arrive, be with your breath, be with your body, and cultivate alignment today. Big breath in through your nose. Open mouth exhale. An ujjayi breath in through your nose. Ujjayi breath out together. You can do this with eyes open or eyes closed. Inhale, mountain arms, reach your hands up above your head. Exhale, hands to heart center, gentle twist to your right. Lead with your pinkies and let your heart follow. Only twist as far as feels good in your spine as you begin to warm up. At the bottom of your exhale, slowly return to center. Inhale, mountain arms, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Lead with your pinky, heart follows to the left. Empty all the way out. Then inhale, mountain arms, reach up. Exhale, hands to your low back, very gentle back bend. Focus on lifting your heart skyward and squeezing your shoulder blades together. Trust that that will create the back bend that you need. Hold this for a couple breaths. You can bring your elbows a little closer together, great. If not, know that just a gentle pinch between your shoulder blades will help open up the whole front line of your body, which is the exact sensation we're after. One more breath in. Exhale, slowly release. Move your hands to the tips of your knees. Inhale, seated cow pose, rock your heart forward, squeeze shoulder blades back. It should feel like a deepening of that last stretch. Exhale, seated cat pose, round your spine, tuck your chin, dome your upper back, a light touch of your fingers on your knees. Good, inhale, seated cow. Exhale, seated cat. Inhale, seated cow. Exhale, seated cat. Begin to restack your spine one more time. Inhale, mountain arms, reach up. Exhale, hands through heart center, plant at the top of your mat, and gently step back to a downward facing dog. Shake out your head, shake out your neck in down dog. Especially if, like me, that's an area where you carry tension, stress, and stories. Take a little wiggle to let it go. Big breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, look toward the top of your mat. Exhale, tiptoe forward until your feet land to touch together. Inhale, lift your heart up halfway, shoulder blades squeeze back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, stand up and reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center, gentle twist to your right. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart, gentle twist toward the left. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, supported back bend. Bring your hands to your low back. Reach forward and up with your heart. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, trickle forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot back. Keep your hands on the earth. A lot of weight in your right foot. And for this one, you can take a block underneath your left hand. I like the medium or the tall setting. Inhale, simple twist, reach your right arm up to the sky. Think warrior two in your upper half. Squeeze your left glute to hike your left hip up so it's level with your left, and let the twist come from your mid back. Take one more breath in, reach your fingertips tall. Exhale your right hand to the earth. And then gently crawl your hands to the left as you pivot your feet to parallel the short edge of your mat, Prasarita. Getting into your hamstrings early on in class, so take a few knee bends side to side. Invite some lateral movement in to help with the hip pops and the knee pops. My hip popped when your knee popped. Feel the shift of weight from side to side, maybe play forward and back. Again, it's about getting acquainted with your body here. If your mind is traveling to other thoughts, sensations, periods of time, it is all good. The mind is really good at doing that all by itself. Just keep inviting it back here with breath and sensation. Make your observations about your body the most important thing that you could be doing right now. Hands under your shoulders. Inhale, lift your heart up just halfway. Exhale, return to a low lunge facing the top of your mat. Drop into a runner's lunge. Bring your back knee to the earth. For some, it feels good to have support and elevation under your back knee, so you can slide a block, a bolster, or a blanket underneath it. Toe heel your front foot up and out to the front right corner of your mat. And then sink into your hip stretch as far as feels good. And that's different for everyone. Since it's early in class, I'll stay propped up on my hands for a lot of height. But if you are a body that likes to fold really far forward to your forearms or likes to invite some support under your heart or your forehead, you can do that since we'll spend a few breaths here. You can always start with a foundation of small, tiny movements to play around with sensation. I like to start there and then eventually work my way towards stillness. That blank slate where it's just being in the shape and being with everything that's already there, adding nothing else to it. Take another round of breath. And slowly toe heel your front foot back in. Plant your palms down. Now take your right heel high to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath in to clear. Open your mouth, exhale. Inhale, peek to the top of your mat. Exhale, travel forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart, gentle twist to the right. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to the heart, gentle twist to the left, root through your feet. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, supported back bend, hands to your low back. Empty out all of your breath before you move. Inhale, mountain pose. And exhale, forward fold, hinge at all of your joints. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge. Be aware of the availability of your blocks. As you keep your left foot forward, step your right toes back. Option to place a block underneath your right hand. Inhale, simple twist, reach your left arm high. Same rules apply on this side. Stay high on your back toes. Shift your right hip up, left hip slightly down. And then twist from your mid back here. Squeeze your shoulder blades back to help encourage the opening of your heart. Press away into the block and then try reaching the crown of your head forward 1 more inch. Breathe in. Exhale, return to a low lunge. Clear your block to the side. Begin pivoting to your right. Heels down, toes face the long edge of your mat. Wide-legged forward fold, head follows your hands. Maybe on this side, you're able to drop into stillness just a little bit quicker. And be with the gentle lengthening of your spine. Perhaps you feel the effects of gravity a little bit more readily, doing the subtle work of creating stretch in your body. Two rounds of breath in through your nose and out through your nose. In through your nose. Out through your nose. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Soften your knees just a little. Inhale, lift your spine up halfway. Exhale, pivot so that your left toes are again forward in a low lunge shape. Runner's lunge, drop your back knee first. Option to bring a block underneath your back knee for a little bit of height. Toe heel your left foot up and out toward the front left corner of your mat. And stay elevated at a level that feels good for you. Let your head drop. Create that little extra bit of rounding in your spine at your upper neck. And when you reach stillness, notice what's right there waiting for you. It may be a thought, an opening, or a sensation. Just notice what's there, what arrives in that space when you open it up for yourself. Two rounds of breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Start to walk your hands back, toe heel your front foot into a stacked position under your knee. Lift your back knee, perhaps clear your block to the side, low lunge, plant your palms. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot up and into a 45-degree angle like warrior 1 feet. Set up pyramid pose. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Bring your forehead towards your front knee. Maintain a rounded shape in your spine. Okay to keep a little softness here in your front knee. Also okay to add blocks or props along the edges of your mat to help ground down into your hands and create a little bit more intentional rounding in your back. Squeeze your inner thighs just ever so gently. Rock your right hip slightly back, left hip slightly forward. See if you can let an ounce of weight drop from the crown. And gaze toward the top of your mat. Option to walk your hands forward so they're about 6 inches in front of your feet. Option to keep the blocks. Keep a little softness in your right knee. Inhale, standing splits just for a breath. Kick up and back, dial your toes down. Exhale, warrior 2. Bend your standing leg, step your left foot back, and open your heart to the side. Ground down through the knife edge of your back foot. Key to lift up through your back inner arch. And then tuck your tailbone under just a little bit, some strength cultivated in your belly. Find the stack of your front knee over your front ankle. Activate through your arms, send your gaze directionally over your front fingertips. Breath in. Exhale, sink into the shape. Inhale, reverse triangle. Press into your front big toes. Lift up and back with your right arm. Take a breath here. Bump your hips slightly forward. So again, sending your head to your hips to create sensation. You might retuck your tailbone under just a little. And breathe in. Exhale, supported triangle pose. Take your right hand to your right hip, bump your hips back. Then reach your left arm high if it feels good. Again, keep a little softness here in your front knees. Still a zip of your inner thighs towards one another. Pull your belly towards your spine. Inhale, star pose. Lead with your top hand. Reach up, heels and toes out. Get big, get big. Exhale, horse pose, bend your knees, sit low, tuck your tail. Take your hands to the tops of your thighs, roll your shoulders back, breath in. Your left shoulder down, gaze over your right. Then inhale back to center. Exhale, switch directions. 2 rounds. Inhale through center. And exhale to twist. Inhale through center. And exhale to twist. 1 more round. Inhale back through center. Exhale, rinse out. Even out your sides. Breathe in. And breathe out. Back to center, horse pose. Even out the weight distribution in your feet. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Inhale, star. Exhale, warrior 2 to the top of your mat. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach up and back. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, 3-legged dog or high plank, whatever suits you. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot up and into a 45-degree angle. Keep your hips facing the front of your mat. Pyramid pose. Find support underneath your hands. Tuck your chin to your chest around your spine and to bring your forehead towards your front knee. Create intentional compression in your throat. Use whatever surface is underneath your hands to support the rounding of your spine. A little soft bend in your front knee so you can recruit your leg muscles to send your left hip back. And then square your right hip forward just a little bit more. When you do that, you might feel a little activation in the IT band on your right leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Shift your gaze toward the top of your mat. Walk your hands and your blocks forward about 6 inches. Start to bend your left knee and carry weight in your left quad. Inhale, standing splits just for a full breath in. Kick up and back with your right heel. Exhale, warrior 2. Dock your right toes, spin your back heel down, and then open up to the edge of your mat, long edge of your mat. Be deliberate in the setup of your feet on this side as well. Notice sensation. Notice if you're gripping with your toes on either foot. Let that grip go and see if you can spread the weight a little bit more evenly. And focus on your tailbone. Tuck your tailbone down in and pull your belly up like you're zipping up a pair of jeans. It'll help open up your hips side to side. Take a breath in. Try closing your eyes on the exhale. Sink into the shape. Inhale, reverse triangle. Press into your big toe. Lift your left hand up and back. Take a couple breaths here. Focus on stretch and lift out of your hip flexors rather than dumping weight back towards your back foot. Squeeze your inner thighs up and in to help support that even distribution of weight in your legs. Breathe in. Exhale, supported triangle pose. Take your left hand to your left hip. Bump your hips back. Reach your right arm high. Only reach forward with the crown of your head as much as your side bodies can support. Notice that your hand is on your hip to help lift away and away from dumping weight into your left hip crease. Take a breath in. Let a breath go. Follow your top hand's energy. Inhale, star pose, heels and toes out. And exhale, horse pose. Sit nice and deep into your knees, your feet, your legs. Feel your glutes activate. Roll your shoulders back. You can stay in this shape if you would like, or if you want to add a little bit of intentional breath here, keep the bend in your knees. Inhale, mountain pose, and your arms reach up. Exhale, bind for a back bend. Reach your fingertips behind your back. Send your heart high. And 2 more of those. Inhale, mountain, reach up, strengthen and lengthen. Exhale, bind and back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bind and back bend. Good. Inhale, star pose, lengthen your legs, flush out all the juice from your quads. Exhale, warrior 2, left toes lead. Inhale, reverse warrior, flip your hand up to the sky. Exhale, low lunge, top of your mat. Inhale, 3-legged dog or high plank, your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Open mouth, exhale. We'll do a modified version of that flow. Inhale, take your right leg up. Exhale, low lunge. This time straight to warrior 2, big breath in. Exhale, supported triangle. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, 3-legged dog or high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, take your left leg up. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior 2 right away. Exhale, supported triangle. Shift your hips back. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, 3-legged dog or high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, look forward, drop your knees to the mat. Exhale, untuck your toes, shift your hips back, child's pose. If you'd like to vent a little bit of heat, you can bring a prop underneath your third eye to help keep your head and heart elevated a little further away from your legs. It's going to take a few breaths to settle in that shape. You've been manipulating your breath, doing a lot of standing movements, going upside down to right side up and back again. This is your heart's opportunity to catch up and then settle, to pump blood where it's needed and recreate a space of rest. Press your hands into the earth and feel the beat of your heart and the meat of your thumbs. Maybe you hear the sound of it in your ears. Lots of oxygen, deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Good. Nice and slow from your child's pose, rock forward to a tabletop shape. Take a seat. Set up a seated separate leg stretch. So send your left leg long, bend your right knee, right foot to the inseam of your left leg. And at this point in class, I invite you to move your props wherever you want to move them so that they're nice and handy for you to use, especially eventually when we recline on our back. So just have them within arm's reach as you're seated. And in this shape, we'll fold forward first over our extended legs. So from your hips, pivot to face the left and slowly reach your heart forward. If you'd like to layer in a T shape in your blocks to support your third eye, power to you. That is my fave, and I feel like the most overlooked and glorious prop combination in most yoga shapes. And where you're inviting sensation in here is most certainly into your hamstring. You may feel a little bit in the connective fiber and tissue behind your kneecap. Make sure you regulate that. We don't want to go too deep into that space. You might feel it stretching into the top of your left hamstring. Notice if your right hip is lifting up off the earth at all and starting to rob you of that sensation, that often means that you're too deep or too far folded forward. And you need to lift your heart up and add a little bit more support underneath your heart or your third eye so that your hips stay grounded and the stretch stays where it's meant to be. You've now entered the phase of your yoga practice from child's pose into the next few shapes where you're starting to transition your breath and the pace of your practice. So you're starting to cultivate and capitalize on the warmth from the first part of your class, your standing session, your back bends, your twists. And you're taking that warmth with you into more static or still shapes. Beginning to slow things down so you can invite a gentle stretch into the connective tissue of your body to help your full physical form restore and heal. So if in these next few shapes it feels like your heart rate is still outpacing the pace of this class, that's very normal. Also, extra credit for paying attention to the physical signs of your body if that's something you're noticing. Can you soften that space in between your shoulder blades that helped you back bend? Or your intercostals, the muscles interspersed in and around your rib cage? Think of your back line. Think of the back line of your body as a shield for your heart. Breathe in. Breathe out. Nice and slow. Stack up your spine. And for this next shape, you can keep your left leg extended. I'm going to pivot my view here so you can see a bit better. And keep your left leg extended, or you can bend your left knee and send your left heel behind you so both legs are making an angle. And where we're headed here is we're going to twist this time over our right quad and just slowly fold forward at an angle for your right quad. Again, props are key to this shape. So stack them up in whatever degree you like. Definitely use your hands or your forearms as a support. For most bodies, your left hip will lift up off of the earth. Just be mindful that your left knee and the inside of your left leg, for the most part, stay grounded. In this shape, the further that you fold, the deeper and more intense that stretch is going to feel in the outside of your hip. So regulate the sensation in that space. At the same time, if you go a little bit too deep, you'll start to lose sensation in that left hip. So give yourself the opportunity to play with what depth of this shape is going to feel best for you. Sometimes it takes a hot minute to get there. There's a little bit more action happening in your forearms here as they're supporting your upper half. That's okay. Focus on creating opening and release in the outside of your left hip. That's where the stillness and restoration is happening in this shape. If you need to make any small adjustments to the shape you've chosen, take them now. Notice your breath as it starts to return to a more normal and even pace. See if there's an opportunity to invite an extra layer of calm into that breath by smoothing out the flow of your inhale to complement the flow of your exhale. One more breath in here. Open mouth, exhale. Walk your hands backward, nice and gentle. Depending on the position of your back leg, you'll either have it bent or out to the side. Either one will work. Go slowly into this next shape. Take a bolster. In this case, I'm going to keep the blanket stacked on it behind me and line it up with your spine. So this bolster right now behind me is going long ways. I'll switch back to that profile view. And butt it up against your low back. Slowly start to walk your hands back so that you're releasing weight onto your bolster. If right away your left hip starts speaking really, really loudly in this shape, extend your left leg long and curl onto your back. Let your arms fall out to the side, palms face up. And this is a great shape to draw the distinction in sensation and pinching or pain. So if your knee is bent and what you're feeling in your left hip feels like pain, extend your leg long. If what's arriving in your hip feels merely like new sensation, maybe you invite it to stay. With the support of the bolster, let your shoulder blades gently squeeze back, heart open. With your breath, let your belly extend to the sky. And practice your smooth cadence or your smooth cycle of breath. Even inhales, even in slow exhales. And if you need to make any changes to this shape, you can make them now. And then invite stillness back into the shape in the second half of this hold. Release any wrinkles you're carrying in your forehead, or if there's any tension in your lips or in your temples. Let gravity do its work there. One more breath in. One more breath out. Bend your elbows. Start using your forearms to press your way up, 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 and then your palms. If your knee is bent, send your left leg out long to help neutralize your hip for a moment. Sides. I'll swap my profile. All right. This time, right leg long. Cool. Right leg long. Getting lost in the yin. Right leg long. And bend your left knee, sole of your left foot to the inside of your right leg. Have your blocks handy. With an inhale, lift your heart, twist over your right leg. And exhale, round forward. This is a combination of a little bit of a reach, a little bit of a round. It's kind of a compromise between the two. Again, you want to keep your head and heart lifted enough that your left hip stays grounded on the earth, and that you invite the stretch into the back of your right hamstring, and maybe just a little bit towards the connective tissue in your knee and your calf. Fold too far forward, your left hip might start to lift away from the earth. Sit too tall, you'll lose the stretch in your hamstring. Everybody is proportioned differently, so be in that kind of active discovery, active inquiry of what combination of props is going to work best for me to target the sensation that I'm looking for. If there's anything cluttering your inner landscape right now, other than your breath and the sensation of your body, you can kindly invite that clutter to step aside. Set it to the top of your mat to cleanse it out with the breath, really whatever works for you. If it's important, it'll still be waiting for you at the end of your practice. If you've lost the smooth cycle of breath, invite it back in.
And if you've held on to that smooth cycle of breath, begin to invite a pause at the top of your inhale, a hold, and a nice, calm, soft pause at the bottom of your exhale. Just a hold. In through your nose. And hold. Out through your nose. And hold. Bring your hands back to your mat. Start to walk them back so you have a nice tall spine. Option to keep your right leg extended or to bend your knee and send your right heel back behind you so your knee makes a 90-degree angle. And gently twist over your left hip. Take your blocks with you if you like having the support. And then slowly fold forward as much as feels good in terms of the sensation in your right hip. If you can, let your chin drop to create that really juicy rounding sensation in your spine. Remember the slow cycle of breath in through your nose. Hold. Out through your nose. And hold. If you need to make any changes or adjustments to this shape, now is a good time to do that. If you're hanging on to tension in your fingertips or your toes, if there's any stickiness left inside of your physical body here, send breath there. Invite softness back. Often those little areas of tension are indicators of gripping or hanging on to something. This is your space to let that go, to create the blank slate that you need, to rebuild or to invite things back in that are good for you once you wrap up your practice. Take a breath in, hold, exhale through your nose, hold. Slowly walk your hands back so both your sit bones come closer to your mat. Option to keep your right knee bent or to extend your right leg out long in front of you, either way. Take your bolster or bolster blanket combination back behind you. And butt it up against your low back. Slowly lower down your bolster. Hands to your side and palms face up. Let your belly be soft, your chest be soft, muscles in your face, your forearms be soft. This is yet another shape where gravity does most of the work. You don't need to put a lot of effort into it. The only thing to regulate is the sensation in your right hip and your breath. We'll make a small change to our breath pattern here. Take a big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Here's the new breath pattern. Inhale through your nose. Another inhale through your nose. Soft exhale through your mouth. We'll continue like that on our own. It's an inhale through your nose. Another inhale through your nose. Soft exhale through your mouth. Take it at your own pace. Work on taking it slowly. And when you inhale, inhale to fill up the full space of your belly, your chest, and your heart. And when you exhale, focus on exhaling fully and completely, letting your belly sink all the way back down towards your spine. If you need to make any changes or adjustments to this shape, do so now. And be with your breath. In this shape, one more inhale. Inhale. Slow to exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Start to use your forearms for support underneath your side body. Then walk yourself up to a seat. If your knee's bent, send your leg long out in front of you. Clear your bolster and blanket out to the side. And with a little softness in your knees, heels into your mat, slowly lower onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Breath in through your nose, forehead to your knees. Open mouth, exhale for Shavasana. Your shape, your way. Easy breath. Safe space to just be. Begin a soft and a gentle reawakening. And as you do, take inventory. Notice where you feel softness and ease, where you feel more space, more freedom, more lightness, the ability to move a bit easier. And as you begin to reawaken your physical body, activate your muscles, hug your knees to your chest, curl onto your side, and press your way up to a seat. When you've settled on your sit bones, roll your shoulders back. With an inhale, reach your arms up above your head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Tap your thumbs to your heart and tap your thumbs to your third eye. My soul deeply and profoundly honors each of your souls. And I thank you for shining your light and for sharing your practice with me. Namaste. Love you, Mare.
Oh, so wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you, love.
Have a beautiful rest of your day and weekend. Hope you can go enjoy the sunshine.
You as well, my dear. Thank you again for joining us. It's so lovely to see your face in real time and not in still time.
Life. Oh, thank you so much. So grateful for both of you.
Ditto.
I'll talk to
Be
you.
well. Love you, lady.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. That was great. Oh, I love her. I love her so much. I miss her.